Okay, so we are on chapter 14.
I came up with Paul's 3 pillars of lean. When I would go to the shop floor and visit factories all over the world, I would see that people had problems that they were wrestling with. It became very clear I was missing something. In lean circles, it's very common to say that the 2 pillars of lean are the elimination of waste and continuous improvement. I disagree. Lean is getting people to see waste. Seeing waste is the first pillar of lean. If you can't identify the 8 wastes in everything you do, then it's very difficult to eliminate the waste. The first pillar of lean is to teach your people to see waste. If you're going to build a lean culture, you need to look at every process and ask the question, Bob, what are the 8 wastes? And which one can you see in the process you are doing right now? First, make sure that all your team members know the 8 wastes, like they know their birthday. Teaching the 8 wastes is not achieved by a handout, an email, or a seminar. You need to teach the 8 wastes every single day. At FastCap, we simply review the 8 wastes every day in the morning meeting. Every morning, one person has to hold up their fingers and go over the 8 wastes. They have to tell a story that illustrates all the wastes. The 8 deadly sins of waste. The first one, and the mother of all waste, and the place from which all waste originates, is overproduction. And then as soon as we make too much of something, guess what we have to do? We have to move it. Transportation, number 2. And then as soon as we move it, we have to stack it somewhere. Excess inventory, number 3. And as soon as we have inventory of something, by and large, there's always a defect hiding somewhere in it. Waste number 4, defects. Waste number 5, overprocessing. We got these nasty defects everywhere, and then what do we have to do? We have to pull them off the shelf, and we have to reprocess or overprocess them. Overprocessing, waste number 5. In the process of overprocessing, we waste motion. And then when we're doing all this dumb work of overprocessing and excess motion and transportation and fixing defects and overproduction, guess what? The person we're in business for, the customer, is waiting. What a disaster. Waste number 7, waiting. We make internal customers in our company wait. When we fix defects, we make external customers wait. And of course, we have to raise the price because we had to reprocess everything. But then the 8 waste is wasted employee potential, because now our people are doing stupid work because we as leaders have set them up to fail by starting the whole process of overproduction. And the 8 deadly sins of waste go round and round in all of our businesses and organizations. It is staggering how much waste all starts from the moment we overproduce.
All right, so you guys got that? We're going to first do the first pillar, which is what? See what?
See waste.
See waste,
waste, yeah.
right? Okay. So we see waste, and in the book he explains the 8 wastes. Okay, so the 8 wastes are 8 wastes of production. And what I haven't taught you guys is there's also wastes. There's wastes everywhere, but there's 6 wastes in the office. Okay, so we'll talk about that as well. Okay, so we're going to go through this first pillar to see waste. This is the key to everything, because you guys are starting to notice that, you know, there's waste in there, but you're not sure about it, right?
Yeah.
So the more you see it, the more you know, okay, what we need to improve to change it so that work flows better, we struggle less. All that waste goes away. First waste, he talks about overproduction. What is overproduction? What do we have it here in Sydney Food and Packaging? Watch here, overproduction, making products faster than you can exceed, okay? But purchasing more raw materials than needed for orders in order to save money. So that's I believe, this is our biggest key. We're ordering way too much.
Yeah.
Forecasting that we're going to use it. So we're pushing product instead of pulling product. Okay.
I think you'll find they're buying stock to get a discount. The stock we're going to use, even if we don't have the storage space for it. What's what you buy?
Yeah.
And that's exactly right. It's like, you're going to save money. But this is a waste. So
you're not saving money.
You're not saving money. Why are you not saving money?
Like again, we got the salt and pepper squid. Not allowed to get rid of the out of date ones that have probably been there since last year. Like, why get more in there?
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
So it makes it difficult for you to do work. So it creates other wastes. Alex, do you recognize, is that a waste?
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree.
And it impacts everybody, right?
It kind of stops us from getting the best prices for something. If we're just throwing it away, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's also a waste as well if we have to fix these issues as well. it stops us doing our job, which is sales.
Co-
So it all kind of affects everything.
Correct. Yeah. So
It has to be proper forecasting for the orders as well.
yeah. So the idea is to see this, start realizing this is a problem. And so what Paul is saying, okay, once you have overproduction, you produce too much, you got too much stuff. What do you have to do with it now? Josh, why is transport a waste?
It's extra job.
It takes time.
Yes, it takes
It's
time.
an unwanted job, like because you have more, you have to transport.
Transport is a cost. It's a cost that the customer is not prepared to pay.
Just two examples we got at the moment: cool room and freezer.
Freezer.
Now tomorrow, or the next day, I'm going to have to put like 6 cartons away somewhere. I'm going to have to move. How many pallets do you reckon on that at the moment? Off the floor, just to get there with a forklift, just to get those fucking 6 cartons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that wasted motion?
Yeah,
Is that wasted transportation?
Yeah.
The forklift movement of forklift, like you moving product out in and out of the freezer just to get space.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
as well, pull it out and
Pull it out.
Yeah.
That's always, the customer's not going to pay us extra because we've ordered too much. We don't have space.
That's right.
And now it's our job now to move it out to put something else in. They don't want to pay for that. That's why it's a waste. It's a cost. So you're always going to have transportation. But the idea of if you see that's a waste. Wow. Okay. Wow. How can I reduce it now? Ideally, we want product to come off the truck from our supplier, touch it once into the thing and pull it out for our order and go out. Not go in, move here, take there, then push it here and put it there, and then put it back, and then move it out.
Move it 27 times. break
27.
it, and chuck it in.
Right. Right. Next waste is inventory. Why is inventory a waste?
Because
Well-
we have overstock and we have to do all the counting.
Correct. We have to manage the stock now. It's a cost to manage it, to make sure that it's okay. We have to count it and do a stock take, make sure it's correct in the
They are
system.
balancing.
And it's tying up cash from the business. So when we buy stock, we've already paid for that stock. If it's been there for over 3 months or over a month, we've
And
probably
the customer
bought it.
takes his time to pay and not on 7 days. They take
Exactly.
2 months or 3 months to pay.
You know, Sile. So it's tying up stock, which means we can't buy anything else
Until that
necessarily because we have
And
bought
we
stock.
pay the interest for the bank as well.
Correct. So Alex, what do you see excess inventory or waste?
Well, space becomes an issue then, and then we can't get the inventory that we might be selling more of more frequent because we don't have the space to store it.
A perfect example. Inventory sitting on a shelf costs us money. The customer, again, the customer's not going to pay us more or pay us to have, whether we have 10 pallets or 1 pallet of product, as long as we have enough stock for them to supply it, they're not going to pay extra. Do you agree? So it's up to us to minimize the inventory where we have just enough that we always have stock, but not too much. We always need to have stock. We can't run out of barbecue sauce. But if we know we're using 10 pallets a week, well, then we need to make sure that we have that space for the 10 pallets
Proper
plus extra.
forecasting.
And so the fourth waste is defects. Josh, what do you think about defects? Why is defects a waste?
It's just dead money, just money going in the bin.
So is the customer going to pay for us for a defect?
No,
No.
No. This is a stupid question, but
It's
why?
our-
Why?
It's our problem.
It's our problem, right? Defects, if we have out-of-date stock or if we damage a bag, that's something we have to control. We can't pass that on to the customer. And that's why that's a waste. Okay. Thoughtless or outdated process can create weeks to months of work and delays for the people on the gemba. Gembas is Japanese for workplace, place of work. What about over-processing? All steps that do not add value to the product. What do you guys understand about over-processing?
It's a waste because we are doing more than what we need.
Yeah.
It's
So
an unwanted thing.
Yeah.
So the only really over processing that I can physically see is just stop coming in.
Yeah.
See, I don't do much like over pressing on the computers, nothing like that. But you can see how much over pressing, like when they do get so much stock, just how much over much they've done it. Yeah.
So over-processing is all the steps that do not add value. So
Okay.
in manufacturing, whenever you change the product, you add value to it. So in our case, we're distributors. What are the customers paying for?
Product. Yeah. Product.
What they receive.
Yeah.
What they receive, right? Josh, okay, when a customer says, I want this order, are they going to pay extra because you have to now talk to somebody, then you got to talk to somebody else, and then you got to talk, and then you got to and then process the order?
No, they just pay for what they get.
We got to reduce the amount of times we have to do a step in a process to get the end result. Instead of coming to Josh and calling him and saying, he's got to stop the vehicle, he's got to write it down, then he's got to punch it in and then email it through, and then see all those steps?
That's these two. This is the guys in the office.
Yeah.
This is the guys on the road, the ramps.
Yeah.
This is what's happening in the warehouse. These two here, we're used to it.
Yeah.
It's bang on the money, that is.
I want to show you, I want you guys to start learning how much waste is every day around us. And if we don't see it and change it, it'll just keep going. So after over-processing, we've got motion. What's the difference between transportation and motion, wasted motion?
Using the vehicle to get there once, the motion you're using yourself.
Correct,
moving,
yes.
Yeah.
So transportation is always inanimate objects. So it's forklifts, boxes, tables, chairs. You moving a table, moving a chair. That's transportation. Motion, wasted motion, is you as a person, you moving around. So when you have to get up and walk to the printer to pick up paper that you printed out, that's wasted motion. Whereas if you had a printer on your side, there's no motion. It means you didn't spend half a minute to walk up every time. And if you do that 10 times a day, that's 5 minutes every day, 10 minutes. If you do that every day for a year, well, it's hundreds of minutes. That's a waste. Why does the customer not going to pay for that?
Why would they?
Exactly. Why would they? That's the only way I look at that. Only, it's just
But we do
There's
this.
always a customer that do that with it.
But we do this every day, Chris. We do this every single day.
Yeah.
Every company is not aware, because they're not aware of their people walking around doing this, and they pass that cost on to the customer. So our products are expensive because we're ineffective. We're not seeing the waste that's all around us. So a great example is every day you have to walk to your desk and look at all those orders there, and then you're over processing, you're touching that thing multiple times. You don't have it visual that you can instantly just see by your eyes. You have to walk in and out from where the trucks come to there to get the paperwork. Then you've got to put it in. Then they have to come upstairs and move and get all that stuff. You see all those steps? Now, the idea is, at the moment, some of those things you can't eliminate. But if you're aware of it, you can start, okay, what can we do to eliminate it? Walking steps of any kind. So any kind of motion. And what they say at Toyota is that what they always do first is, when they look at a process, they'll look at how many steps are you taking. And they'll try and reduce it that you're taking 1 or 2 steps. Once you take 1 or 2 steps, how far are you reaching? Your hands. So the feet, hands, and then there's the eyes. Where's your eyes going to? Do you have to go up? Do you have to go down? Do you have to go, do you have to go from there to there, then to there? That's all wasted motion. Okay, then the 7th one, waiting time. Who enjoys waiting in a queue?
No one.
No.
Why is McDonald's the massive company it is?
The speed of service.
So it's speed of service and consistency, right? You can go in there and within a minute or two, you're going to get a burger, you're going to walk out with a burger. What examples do we have here where we wait for, our customers have to wait for us? Or
I won't say not so much customers, but sometimes truck drivers, because we have to make space some days, and we have to say that you're going to have to wait 5 or 10 minutes, and they do not like it, even if they have to wait 5 minutes.
But
that's fair, because they got to go to another job. Like,
they got 10 jobs to do.
Day. Yeah.
Every 5 minute costs them, and it means they're stuck in traffic a little bit longer, right? Alex, what about you? What waiting time do you have, of example?
Sometimes you wait for procurement. Sometimes you're waiting for customers to get back to with invoices from other suppliers.
Impacts are your flow of work, because you have to wait. When you have to wait for authorization for something to happen, some marketing or procurement, like you said, that stops you from getting to the next step, and that's a waste. Is the customer going to pay for that?
So if we reduce the waste, we can reduce the price for the customers as well.
Correct, yeah. And then if we're going to
they'll be
reduce the
happy,
price, they'll
yeah.
stay more with us.
They'll be happy customers.
Yeah, that's what you want to have.
If we don't have customers, we don't have a business. We can't support our families. The bigger the business gets, the more that expands as well, unless you have clear processes and you identify the waste that you can solve it and eliminate it. So the eighth waste in the production is wasted employee genius. What do you guys think that means?
I guess it's just we might have skills that Trevor or the business might not be utilising. Like Josh might be good at computers, and I might be good at something else, and we could be utilised somewhere better for the company.
The biggest challenge companies have is that they don't tap into their employees' creativity because they're so busy rushing around trying to do work. We never stop and say, okay, let's identify the waste, let's eliminate it. What idea do you have? You work there, you work in that area, and normally you bring other people around to a different area and they come with a different idea. And again, what I'm doing in the morning meetings, what we're doing right now is we're learning. We're stopping what we're doing to be able to learn to improve the way we work. And how many companies give the opportunity to do that? Not many. No. And so that's what this is talking about. This is about giving you the opportunity to say, I'm in control of my work area. I can make it better. I don't have to do the same thing over and over. I'm not a robot. In the office wastes, there's the wasted employee genius is also there, the defects and the over-processing. What's not in there is the underutilized technology, the under-communication and delayed feedback, and they're being difficult to do business with. So we'll do those three. Underutilized technology. Do you have any ideas of what that is here in SFP, Josh?
I think a whole new system would help us. I mean, I think our system is so outdated. Like the processes of doing orders at night, the way that we lock things in at night takes probably an hour longer each day unnecessarily just because it's so dated.
Yeah. Imagine with all that time you could save and not having to do that. And all the mistakes that come when you don't do it.
Correct.
And then it shuts down halfway through the night. Like it happened to Jeff the other night, this whole system just went down.
Yeah.
And he had to ring me back at 3 in the morning.
Yeah, great. Give an example.
So every night when we lock in pricing, we have to do this thing where you go create pricing and discount, lock pricing in, then it moves you into another pantry, and then you have to lock it in again.
Yes.
It's just, you're doing it 4 times unless you could just do it once. It's like, literally, instead of pressing one button, you have to press probably 6 buttons just to lock in a price.
So that's over processing right there. But it's the core of it is that the technology is so old. And unfortunately, we're aware of that. So we are, we have to change over. But that's a big improvement. That's not something Tom can do.
But there is one thing that I think we could fix. I think like when we're at the office, we always go to Kajan, hey, can you put an order in for us to get picked so we can take to our customers when we're in the office? I mean, we could probably log on and learn how to do it ourselves instead of going through Kajan because we could streamline it because she's already busy.
That's a great idea. So you cut her out and then you can get the order already ready. So when you come here, it's already ready. You can load it and go.
Correct.
And hopefully with a new system that you guys can do that within a flash,
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's underutilized technology. Under communication, not adequately communicating an idea, task, a detail, or fundamental requirement with a design or project. Problems generally arise when people think they understood or think they were clear and concise. Delayed feedback. So have you got any examples, Alex, of under communication?
Probably in this one, probably the one that probably does come across a lot is possibly either if you're quoting an item, you might, with a customer, they might give you 4 or 5 things that you might have to quote, and then you're going back and forth constantly where we might not, if it was on the app or we had the photo on the system, you can kind of explain it to them if you had samples readily available.
Exactly.
But same with custom print, sometimes you might be doing 4 or 5 things just to get the same message across. It can kind of be a bit slow.
Yeah, that's a great example where just there's some missing information or the information is misleading. It just doesn't help to be able to fulfill the process, and it creates defects. It creates more waste. Delayed feedback is another one. So that's similar to the other one we had where you're waiting. It's a waiting time when you've put this request in and you're not getting a response. You have to wait until you can do the next step because you need that authority. Okay, being difficult to do business with. Underutilized networks, not properly accessing databases or capturing reviews. Vagueness of messaging. Are you unclear who your customers are with your messaging? Is your value proposition unclear? Why should someone buy from you? Missing opportunities, not selling the full range of products, missing a chance to delight a customer. I like that idea where there's opportunities often that we don't see where we can delight a customer. If we delight a customer, they're going to come back.
The second pillar is that every person must continuously improve everything. The essence of the book, 2 Second Lean, is making small incremental improvements that quickly accumulate into a significant body of work. A year later, I'm 100% behind that concept, even more than ever, because it flat out works. It is so simple. So the first pillar is you must first see the waste, and second, you must continuously improve everything, everybody, every day. The third pillar. Now the meat of the revision to this book is related to the first and the third pillar, because the second pillar is basically the same. The first pillar, people must see waste, was a twist or clarification to what most people regard as an important pillar of lean thinking. The second pillar makes small continuous improvements to everything. The third pillar is probably the most exceptional of all. This pillar is something that frankly caught me off guard. I just didn't realize why we were so successful in building a lean culture. The third pillar of lean is you must make before and after videos of all of your improvements. Did you get that? Make before and after videos of all of your improvements. You must show the work area and the process before and after. I know you're saying, what does that have to do with lean, Paul? Everything. When you are developing a culture, you want to document the developments of that culture. Do it in a fun way so that people will enjoy watching and want to join in the party. This adds an enormous amount of fresh emotional energy. What I tell people to do is just take your iPhone and your smartphone and point and shoot. I don't care what it is, but do not go out and buy a professional movie camera. Record with the camera that's in your pocket. Do not go out and buy a professional editing software. It is not necessary. All you need is a simple phone and an app like iMovie for editing the video right on your phone. Keep it simple and get it done. One piece flow, no batch work, no inventory, no overproduction. Do you get it? We're applying lean principles to documenting lean processes and lean improvements. I cannot say this point emphatically enough. It is so common for people to go out and shoot video and accumulate a huge library of material that they have to muddle through. That's a nightmare. That's overprocessing. That's inventory. That's defects. But if you shoot and edit immediately, that's one piece flow. That's applying the power of lean thinking to everything you do. And when you do it, you're going to have a continually building body of work to reflect on and improve on in everything you do.
So the first pillar of lean was what? See
waste.
waste. So the second one is
Continuous improvement.
Improve what?
Everything.
Everything, everybody, every day. That's the goal. That's the goal. Okay, so what's the third pillar? Make and share.
Make before and after videos.
Yeah.
Yes.
Before and after videos. Why?
So everyone gets an idea of how to do it, and just everyone gets that idea of how to do it the lean way, I guess. Yeah.
So we're sharing knowledge, one. We're creating excitement.
Yep.
And we're creating a culture of encouraging everybody to make an improvement.
Yes.
You want to use your brain to be able to improve the way you work. So how do we learn? Chris, how do we learn?
Experience.
Silet, how do you learn?
Learn by seeing others.
You learn by seeing others.
You guys watching and observing how they do it.
You learn by watching and observing.
Yeah.
Josh, how do you learn?
From others and also mistakes.
Yes, very good, very good. So you learn from mistakes. What about you, Alex? How do you learn?
I was going to say mistakes as well.
That's good.
Yeah,
Okay.
about
Reading.
So
Another one.
there's another way. You learn when you teach others.
Yeah.
Do you think that's true or false?
Yeah, cool.
True.
It gets reinforced into us.
It gets reinforced, right?
exactly that, yeah.
So over here's the learning pyramid. At the moment, we're just reading a book, we're lecturing, we're having discussion. So about 30% of this information, tomorrow if I ask you what's the 8 wastes, you'll go, You'll know, I guarantee you'll know 1 or 2 of them, but you won't know all 8. There's no way until you teach me and I say that's correct. So the next question is, when do we teach others? He said it in the book.
Well, really, as soon as they start.
When they ask for help? What did you say?
When they first, as soon as you lay eyes on them, really say, hey, well, I'll teach you this is how to do it, or
What about you, Chris?
when someone asks you to teach them, yeah.
When do you teach? When do we teach others?
Or a new person comes in, wants to know everything.
But there's a lot to learn, right? So you can't learn everything all in one day.
No.
Josh, what do you think? When do we teach others?
All the time, every day.
Every day. Very good. That's exactly right. In the morning meetings, that's our learning time. It just has to be 5 minutes. It doesn't need to be 30 minutes. Like, this is a really long time. I'm sitting down with you. I'm trying to just get the start of it, bring it in the knowledge. But if we do it every day and we each teach each other, we're going to go from learning 10% to 90%.
Yeah.
So when you're holding the morning meeting, I want you to talk about one of the wastes and explain an example that you've seen. And that's how we're going to learn together.